Welcome to the Brew Coachman Show, where we discuss how to live your best life. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the Brew Coachman Show. How has your day been? Well, thank you for joining us this evening. We go into today's topic, how to discover your passion or bliss, and how to attract what you want from life. Now, this is such a vast topic. So we're going to be talking about this today and a bit into tomorrow. That's what's going to cover our topic for the next 2 days. So stick with us, yeah? And learn a thing or two about how to discover your passion or your bliss and to attract what you want from life. We all want to attract what it is that we want from life. What I want from life is quite different from what you want from life. So, we all want to attract what's best for us in life. So, Coach, what do you think passion is, if you were to define passion in your terms?
Passion is a strong flair.
Okay.
It's a strong attraction to something you're good at, a connection with an activity, something you've naturally drawn to, something you know you can do very well, comes very easily to you, makes you happy. When you're doing it, you're connected. You lose a sense of time, you lose a sense of space. You're flowing. You're in the flow state. Your A game is on. That's what passion is.
Your flow state is when you forget about everything. You just get lost,
You get immersed
in it. Like what some of us do when we're browsing.
Tell me about it.
Flow state. You forget about time and, time just rushes by, or, I think it's kind of like that feeling that people have when they say you're in love, both of them look into each other's eyes and they just forget about every other person in the room. It's just the two of them. So at that point in your flow state, it's just you and time.
A peak state, yeah.
Which doesn't exist. So like passion, like Coach said, is a strong, intense enthusiasm.
Excitement
for something you are enthusiastic about, something that you are excited about. It just gives you energy, like it drives you, to take action.
Actually, Bimo, it drives you and you drive it.
How do you drive it?
You drive it because it propels your thinking, your words, your actions.
Yeah.
And you also it moves you, but you also move it. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
It's working on you and you're working on it. Because we have to put that part to make people realize that it's never a one-way street.
It can be a one-way street now, because it sparks something within you which pushes you to, do what it is that you are passionate about in the first instance. So basically, you have to feel excitement. You have to feel motivated, right? You have to, it will usually take you to that flow state, like Coach said, when you forget about time or anything. It reminds me of when I was younger and, I was like into reading. I loved to read a lot of fictional books when I was younger. And, I had an uncle of mine who told me once that whenever I was reading a book, it would be difficult to get me out of the book because usually I get so immersed in the book, I forget that I'm actually on this side of the book.
You're inside the book.
I'm inside the book.
With the characters.
Exactly. I would get lost, especially if it was an interesting novel. And then he said that when you would call me, eventually get my attention and draw me back to this world. Now, by the time I looked up, I'd have this look in my eyes, that shows you that I'm not quite here yet. I'm still this dreamy look. Still in my eyes. That shows that I'm inside the book. I'm not here. So, for me, that was, like my flow state. I'd actually forgotten that I was here. Or forgotten about time.
Let me ask you a question, please.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Did you get lost in your textbook as well?
For some reason, I cannot understand. The textbooks weren't quite giving me, they weren't giving me the same. They weren't giving me the same kind of response. I don't know why. For the life of me, I don't know why.
With it.
And truth be told, up till now, it's still a struggle for me to actually focus on reading like a textbook or one of all this stuff. I don't know why. But give me a good book, a good novel with a great storyline, and man, you've got me. I can go hours. In fact, I can read through the night into the morning. Sleep will vanish. It's crazy. So that's part of it. So you have to get lost in it, as in you have to be in that state of flow. And then, it also fuels persistence. It basically nudges you, to want to get at it. It pushes you. And then it can also evolve over time. So you could have been passionate about something at a particular time, maybe when you were younger or a certain time growing up, and you find out that the passion may have waned a bit after growing up, and you find out that you're passionate about something else, instead. So that could actually happen. Then bliss, let's talk about bliss. Rest.
Deep rest. A resting of the spirit.
Contentment.
Contentment. Living in the moment. Accepting what is and what is not. You've done your bit. Alhamdulillah.
I can't keep myself.
I can't come and keep myself.
Allow me to flex. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
So it's a state of like deep joy,
deep
contentment, inner peace. Where you've gotten to this point where you're at peace with yourself, you're at peace with what you're doing, you're at peace with the world around you. What comes to mind actually when I think about it is like the Bible, when the Bible tells you about the joy of the Lord
is my strength.
Where it's like you're drawing from an unlimited well of, contentment, of joy. So bliss is not exactly based on the circumstances you are in presently.
No,
it's not based on what it is that you are doing or not doing. It's just coming from the inside, the source, like a well inside, inner peace, contentment, and deep joy, so it gives you like a sense of effortless happiness and fulfillment. That's what bliss does to you. It's calm, it's an enduring source of joy. It's not necessarily excitement like passion gives you, but it's more calm. It gives you that sense of joy. It's found in being present, when you're present in the moment, rather than
fully present
in the moment, rather than based on achievements that you've gotten or what you have not gotten. You are in the present. It makes you more aligned with your true self and your values. You can focus on who you are, and you are comfortable with who you are. You're content with who you are. There's no fight here as to should be. You're just blissful. What when they say being blissfully ignorant, you are okay in your ignorance.
But it's not ignorant though.
No, it's not ignorant. But you get what I'm trying to say now. It just you're just calm. You're just okay. So someone who's experiencing bliss might feel an overwhelming sense of peace,
serenity.
Yes, it could have peace or this sense of joy from just sitting down somewhere and like watching a sunset. When last did you do that, Coach? Just sat down somewhere and enjoyed a sunset.
This evening.
Really?
Those are one of the joys of my life. I'm a man of nature. I love nature. I like to drift outside myself to watch my environment. It's a gift.
Yeah,
the sun is there.
Wonderful.
Why not watch it?
Yeah, or you could just do work, find something you love and do it, without any stress or pressure.
Just let your mind.
You're not thinking about money, whether you're going to make money from this or
exactly.
You just take joy.
You're not encumbered by the material.
Yes, you just take joy in doing it. So like that's bliss. So let's look at some of the differences between those two.
All right.
Yeah. So passion, high energy. You
Excitement.
are,
gotta do this.
Gotta
up and go.
Passion is high energy. It's action driven. But bliss, on the other hand, it's just
passive,
calm. Yeah, calm. Relaxed. You're in a peaceful state. Relaxed, gingerly. And passion. Okay, passion motivates you to pursue goals. You're passionate about something. You have a compelling need to do that thing. And so you plan towards doing it. So it's goal oriented, And then bliss, you're just living in the present. No stress, no worries, no pressure.
There's something at work in you that's going to take care of everything.
Exactly.
That's like you always say.
Exactly. So you're just calm and serene. And then, it's passion usually is often connected to external achievements.
Bliss is internal.
Exactly. It comes from within.
Yeah.
And it's not tied to success and all that. But it's important that you feel both. You can't be...
They balance each other.
Exactly. You can't be in what's called eternal state of bliss. That gets
like for two of us, Bro Coachman, I would say, what would you say I was and what would you say you were? Bliss or passion?
You're definitely passion. I'm passion too. But your passion is more passionate than my passion. If there's such a word. Your passion is more passionate than my passion.
So would you call yourself bliss?
Sometimes, okay. Occasionally, there are moments of bliss. Occasionally. And those occasional moments are getting slimmer by the day. Unfortunately, Nigeria will not leave you. Nigeria will keep dragging your matter. They will not leave you to enjoy your moment of bliss. Nice. I'm telling you, you have to come out of that blissful contentment you feel and face the reality that, man, they know they play with you, So that's some of the things. And then let's go further, Coach, to talk about some myths that people have about passion.
People believe that you are born with passion. It's who you are. Some people say great leaders are born, not made.
You believe that?
There's a sprinkling of truth, but I think passion is what you cultivate over time.
Yeah.
I think you grow it. It comes and grows. It doesn't come and go. Yeah.
And like what we spoke about during our last, during the last episode of the show, we talked about talents, discovering your talents and all of that. Discovering your talents also basically means discovering your passion too. So I think to also discover your passion, you also have to explore, try different things. Because like Coach rightly mentioned now, the myth is people are born with passion, and that may be true in some regard, but there are other things that you could find out that you're passionate about that wouldn't come to you until you explore. And like we mentioned earlier, passion also evolves over time. So what it is that you think you were born with that you're passionate about may not be as strongly felt by you in the future. And if you do not keep trying your hands at new things, keep pushing the boundaries, keep exploring, keep developing yourself, you might not stumble on the other things that you are passionate about, So that's one of the myths, that passion is born. Every person, is born with their own passion. And then another myth is that you can only have one passion.
You can have multiple passions, really.
Exactly. That's a lie.
You can have multiple passions.
I wonder why people would actually think that. I mean, we were born from the creator of the universe. God is so vast. Why
is multiple?
Why would he give you just one?
Multi-dimensional.
So that's another lie, guys. You do not have to be passionate about only one thing. You can have various passions. When I was younger, I loved dogs a lot. I still do. But I was very passionate about them. I thought about, like having maybe like a dog shop, grooming and all of that. Taking them, probably having a place where people could come, drop, maybe like a boarding school or something.
For dogs.
I'm telling you, for dogs. Where you could come leave your dogs, travel, and know that they are safe and sound.
You dog sit them.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's it. You could dog sit them, basically. There was that also.
That's impressive.
Like we said, and so that was one of the things that I was passionate about. I still am passionate about them, but not as much as I was. And I found out that there are other things that I am also passionate about. Communicating, for instance, I didn't realize that was a passion. I'm beginning to realize that it is. I'm actually enjoying it, and I'm compelled to want to find out some more about it. Coach, what are some of the things that you found out about yourself that you're passionate about
I love to
then
read.
versus now?
I love to read. I've always been a reader. I've always been a reader. I remember right from when I was 6, 7, I was reading Nick Carter, hiding to read James Hadley Chase.
Mine was Mills and Bones.
I used to buy James Hadley Chase 35 naira back in the 90s. With my pocket money, I would not eat food because of James Hadley Chase.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. I had a library. And I just love to read. I love the world he gave me. And till today, I still read. Yeah, I still read.
But are you as passionate about it now as you were before?
No, not at all. I don't even have the time. I used to be very passionate about movies. I love to watch
yes, me too.
I love movies so much. Well, now I'll be lucky if I watch a good movie in a week. I'll be very lucky. So those are the things that guide you. What do you have loved over time? What I know I've kept over time is my love for people.
Yeah.
I'm a lifer. I always say it. I've always been enthusiastic about life. I've always been life observant, asking myself questions about people. Why is this man doing this? Why is he lying on the road? Why is he not looking neat? Why is he eating from the trash can? Why is he limping? My mother used to say, don't stop looking, stop pointing. But I think that's what informs who I am today. That's what makes me a life coach, because I really want to know what makes somebody who he is, what
Yeah.
makes them broke or made,
What makes them tick?
or makes them talk, you know. Either they are made by life or they're broken by life. So
Yeah.
part of it has made me very concerned about humanity, made me a very vulnerable person, and made me realize that there's a lot I can give back. That's the passion for humanity, carrying a burden,
Yeah.
knowing that the world could be much more better place. It could be a much better place if you just go the extra mile, just a little bit more. Good things could happen in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk some more about passion beyond excitement, you know, that comes from having a passion for something. You also have to have an interest in that thing. You have to have some strength and values concerning that thing. So let's talk about interests, strengths, and values. What coach likes to refer to as ISV.
ISV.
You know, how they contribute to passion.
Your interest is what you basically take your time to explore.
Yeah.
It's something you visit regularly. But yeah, there's the question, folks. Is your interest backed up by your strengths? And are you aligning your strengths with your values? So I tell people, part of the problem we have in the world is that people have fleeting and transient interest. They jump
from one thing to the other.
Today they're here, next tomorrow they're there. They just like a rolling stone that gathers no moss, you know? A jack of all trades, if you say, and master of none. So your interest has to be something that you want to push. I had an interest in public speaking. I have an interest. Thank you so much, Bimo. I have an interest in public speaking. So what am I doing now? I'm backing it up. I'm looking for resources. That's what we have in this program. That's why Bimo is my partner. That's why I'm creating a community of like minds. It's not just an interest, because you must weaponize your interest with your strength. And then when you align it with your value, you monetize. That's how people become extremely wealthy. You know, Oprah Winfrey had an interest in talking to people, communication, but she backed it up with the strength, the power of communication. And in communicating properly, she was able to value humanity. And that's why she became one of the greatest talk show hosts of all times. Yeah. So the question right now is not in just having an interest. Is it focused on your strengths? Is it backed up by your values? Because if one of these three is missing, I'm sorry, folks, you don't have anything. Is that right, Bimo?
Yeah, I agree. So basically, your interest points you towards your passion, because your interest is, you know, what draws you in and what excites you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it points you towards your passion. So you find out that the things that you actually have interest in, specifically over time, point towards something that you may be passionate about. And then when you find out about those interests, do your strengths lie in those interests? You are interested in, let's see, you're interested in baking. Yeah. Do your strengths lie in baking? Can you actually, when you tried, okay, you're interested in baking us, and when you try to bake, can you actually put the things together? Did you find out that it was something that came naturally to you? You know, the whole thing, the whole concept of mixing and all of that, was it easy for you? As in, you just looked at a video or something once and you were able to grab it, you know, and it came out as nicely as what you saw in the video, you know. So do your strengths lie where your interests take you to? And then your values. What are your core values? What are your guiding belief systems, your principles that guide you in life? For instance, if you are somebody who has a principle or a value, you consider honesty, you know, as a value, you know, to you, you probably wouldn't be very good in doing some kind of businesses, because, you know, you have to be a bit sly, right?
Crafty.
In doing some kind of businesses. And because of your honest policy, you probably would be taken advantage of all of the time, and you would end up in the dirt even before you start. I don't think that's actually like a good example, because it's almost like I'm telling people to be crafty in business. But you know, guys, what I'm talking about, yeah? You know, for those of you who are in business. So you get where I'm headed to. So your interests will point you in the direction of your passion. And then another thing that should guide you is your strengths. Where do your strengths lie? Do your strengths align with those interests? Yeah. And then your value system, your core guiding beliefs, what you think about life, what guide you in life. do they align with those interests and strengths that you found out about yourself? So when all of these align together, then you know, okay, this is your passion and this is the path you should walk in.
It becomes a recipe.
Yes.
Only you,
yes.
your GPS.
Exactly. You know, to guide you to the right thing.
Right pot.
Yeah. So like I said before, guys, this is a vast subject. We're just trying to, you know, put everything into like a small box, just rush through it now to be able to give you an idea of what it is. But probably later over time, you know, we might
explore deeper.
Yeah, touch more on this like some other time. In our next episode, we are going to be talking about how to attract what you want. We've spoken briefly about passion and bliss, you know, and how your interests, your strengths, and your values guide you towards your passion. You know, we've talked about the importance of bliss and passion and how you have to create a balance, you know, between the two. So in our next episode, we're going to be talking about how to attract what it is.
And if they're good folks, if they're good audience, I might tell them how I attracted you.
And we'll leave that discussion for some other time because we're running out of time this time around.
Okay.
And I'm using a lot of time saying that. I said time so many times.
Go for it.
All right, guys. Thank you for being with us this evening. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Yeah. We hope you got one or two things, at least from inside, to guide you in your life, which is what we are here for, to help you make this journey of life a bit more easier, a bit clearer and sweeter.
Enjoy it, don't enjoy it.
Exactly. You know, so we're hoping to see you here with us on our next episode. But until then, have a lovely, lovely night's rest. See you next time. It's good night from me, Be More.
Good night.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you for watching the Brew Coachman Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join us next time for another exciting episode.